All right, we are learning more about the rare meeting between CIA Director John Ratcliffe and senior Cuban officials. Officials say Ratcliffe used the meeting yesterday to deliver a message that the U.S. is prepared to expand economic and security engagement with Cuba if Havana, quote, makes fundamental changes, unquote. The U.S. has put pressure on Cuba with tariffs and sanctions. Rare protests erupted this week over fuel shortages, blackouts, and economic instability. CBS News intelligence and national security reporter joins us now, Olivia Gazis from Washington. Olivia, what more can you tell us about the CIA director's visit? Was it a big surprise? And what are these fundamental changes exactly that the Trump administration is hoping for?
Sure, Adriana. Well, the fact of the trip itself is fascinating. We did know that the Trump administration was having these secret dialogues with Cuban officials for months now. But this is a uniquely visible visit from a cabinet-level official, which suggests that there's an opening here, some momentum to leverage. Ratcliffe was dispatched to personally deliver a two-pronged message to the Cubans. One, that the U.S. is offering a genuine opportunity for collaboration in order to stabilize its ailing economy, but that window is not open indefinitely, and that the president is going to enforce red lines if necessary. Exactly what the red lines are or what the changes that need to be seen are not spelled out, but the writing on the wall is that the communist government that has been in power in Cuba for decades now would need to be replaced with new leadership. Part and parcel with that would be severing the ties that we know exist between the Russian and Chinese governments that have had a political intelligence foothold in Cuba for a long, long time. All of this sounds familiar because it's almost exactly the playbook we saw in the sequence of events leading up to the capture of Maduro in Venezuela. That's a change that directly led to the energy crisis that we're now seeing in Cuba. And Ratcliffe, in the same way, made that initial visit to Caracas to deliver much the same message to the now interim president, Delcy Rodriguez.
That's right.
So, Olivia, the United States moving to criminally charge Cuba's 94-year-old president, Raul Castro. I mean, what do we know about these possible charges, and why now?
Yeah, criminal charges against a senior leader. Where have we seen that before? Lots of significant developments in the last 24 hours. So a CBS News team first reported yesterday that this possible indictment, which would still need to be approved by a grand jury, has to do with a 1996 shoot-down of civilian planes flown by a humanitarian group, Brothers to the Rescue, by Cuban fighter jets. It killed 4 people. For decades, the U.S. has maintained that those planes were illegally targeted in international airspace. The Cuban government argues it was defending its own sovereign airspace. Who was defense minister at the time? Raul Castro. So what makes this especially significant now is that it's the latest pressure point that the Trump administration is using to escalate its campaign. In addition to choking off oil supplies, issuing new sanctions, increasing intelligence surveillance flights near Cuba. So even as that diplomatic track that we're talking about is taking on new momentum, the administration is continuing to tighten those screws economically and politically to force a change.
Olivia Gazis with all the great analysis
Yes.
and so many good points about the comparisons with Venezuela. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thank you.